guys, welcome to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Kristen and I am obsessed with decorating, especially for the holidays. Christmas time is one of my favorite times of the year to decorate for. I mean, it is the time of the year to decorate for. And today's video is probably my most requested video ever, which is shocking to me because I've been getting the comments and the messages that you guys want to see this tree for only the past week, but there has been so many messages, and some of you have even asked for my advice. How do you do this? How do you do that? What are your tips? Your tree looks like this and mine doesn't, so on and so forth. And I'm so flattered that you guys think that I know anything about anything at all, because I don't. But I'm happy to take you in closer to look at the tree and give you some details. And I actually did 4 things, well 5, but I'm gonna talk about 4 things that I did differently on my tree this year to kind of achieve this look. And maybe you already know about these things, maybe you already do them. If you don't, that's okay. Your tree is probably still beautiful. I've never met a tree that I didn't like, but you guys asked, so I'm gonna deliver. I am going to be doing a tree decorating video, which is different than this one. I'm going to go really in depth and take you along with me as I decorate one of my trees. So if you are looking for a video on how to do the tree from top to bottom, that will be coming. So if you haven't subscribed yet or hit that bell notification, go ahead and do that. So before we get into the tips and tricks, a lot of you have just been asking about the tree in general. It's new this year from Big Lots. I will leave it linked below if you want all the details, but it's 9 feet tall, flocked, and pre-lit, and it was the most affordable tree that I could find. I do love it. Some people tried to talk me out of it. They didn't like the way it looked in store before it was fluffed, but once I got it home and fluffed it, it's beautiful. There are some little sparse areas, but I'm gonna show you in my tree decorating video that's coming soon how to remedy that. So don't worry if you have that problem, I got you covered. The one thing you should know about a flocked tree though, if you are considering getting one, is that they shed like crazy, especially when you put them up for the first time. So if you haven't already gotten yourself a cordless, lightweight, small vacuum cleaner, now is a great time to do so. This is the one that I have been using. I've actually been testing this out for at least 2 months now. Before I shared it with you guys, I wanted to make sure that it served its purpose and it worked, and it does. So this is from House Smile. It is an Amazon Prime item, I believe, and I have a coupon code with them. I will link it down below, but I love this for quick cleanups, getting glitter off of the floor from decorations, cleaning up the flocking, getting into small little spaces just real quick. And there's a light on the front of it, 2 suction settings, and it's not that loud, so Chip actually doesn't hate this one. He doesn't feel like he needs to save me from it and attack it. Does anybody else's dogs do that, or is it just mine? So just so you guys know, to turn it on, in case you end up getting this, you do just hold down the button here for a couple seconds and it'll turn on. For a second I thought I had a defective one, but that's how you turn it on. So I love this. I'll leave it linked below for you guys. Okay, so now let's get into the tips and tricks. Number 1 is fairy lights. So I have 2 16-foot strands of fairy lights on this tree. So like I said, it's a 9-foot tree, and I just have the 2 strands. I will link the ones that I'm using in the description box below. They come in a set for $17, and it's an Amazon Prime item. I don't actually have them going right now, just in case there's anybody watching this video who has a sensitivity to flashing lights. You will see flashing lights coming up though, just so you know, because I do want to show my viewers how they work. But you can download an app on your phone for these particular ones and just control them from your phone. You can turn up and down the brightness, and I think there's 7 or 8 different flashing settings that you can choose from. So it just adds a twinkle to your tree that most trees don't have, and you can reuse them all year round for other areas. And I just love twinkle lights. I think everybody does. So twinkle lights are new to me this year, at least for as far as putting them on my tree goes. And it was the first thing that I did after I fluffed out the tree. Since it's already pre-lit, I just wrap those around, and it adds something very special to the tree. Trick number 2, and I have done this before, and I think most people do use this on their trees, but wire edge ribbon. So I've used ribbon before. I just kind of wrapped it around the tree and it wasn't a wire edge, and it can still look pretty that way. But this year I bought wire edge ribbon in a pattern that I love, and I cut it into short strips and just kind of put them in my tree and looped them in a very calculated way. So I started at the top and zigged down to the bottom of the tree, and I'll show you kind of how I do that, although I will talk more in depth about that in my tree decorating video. But you can kind of just stick it into the branches, but if you are having trouble getting the ribbon to stay, you can twist the branches around the ends and the center, and the wire edge is imperative because it helps you to manipulate it to get those perfect little loops that you see here. And I didn't want to overwhelm my tree with ribbon. I really like for my ornaments to be the star of the show, but adding in that perfect amount of ribbon for whatever your taste is will really make your tree look a lot more designer and really layered and lots of different textures and elements, and it's just really, really beautiful. Trick number 3 is one of my favorites, and it's something that I noticed as I was browsing all of my dream trees on Pinterest. There are 2 things that I noticed that most of them have, and I'll talk about the second one as my last tip and trick. But large scale ornaments on your tree, a lot of times I would shy away from them. I had a lot of standard size ornaments all over my tree, and then I would put in a few larger ones as my statement ornaments. But this year I kind of flipped the ratio. So my main ornaments are large and extra large, and I have just like maybe 25% of the smaller ornaments. So I'll show you a comparison of kind of like a small to standard size ornament next to my just regular ornaments that cover the entire tree. And it's maybe something that you can't tell that well from just a video. Maybe the scale is hard to see, but all of the ornaments stand out. They're all kind of the star of the show, and if you have a larger living room and your couch sits back kind of far away from your tree, it'll help you to be able to see your ornaments a lot better too. And also, don't get me wrong, like I said, in years past I have just stuffed full my trees with tons of just like standard size ornaments. That's a very beautiful look. It's really just, you know, there's so many different ways to do a tree, and I'm just letting you know the way that I've done this one this year. And trick number 4, which is my favorite, is to add lots and lots of picks into your Christmas tree. I just love the way that picks kind of give your tree a little bit more of a wispy look, especially if you have an artificial tree, because they can tend to look very cone shaped and perfect, so to speak, when in the wild the trees have a much more organic shape, and they may not organically have the same kind of picks coming out of them, but the shape kind of mimics a more natural appearance, in my opinion. And you can add your pops of color and your texture and dimension, and I just love them. So my recommendation to you, because what I found is that I really underestimated how many picks I would need for this tree. I ended up getting about 20 of my red berry picks. I have about 5 of the Target Dollar Spot kind of greeneries here. I have maybe 5 to 10 of the twig ball picks and a few others mixed in. So look for picks that are in the $1 to $2 price range, because everything at Hobby Lobby is 50% off. That's where I got my red berry picks, and they ended up being like 79 cents a piece. So to get 20 of them wasn't a huge splurge, but some of my other picks were in the kind of like $3 to $6 range, so they did kind of break the bank a little bit. So I got a lot less, and I probably will go back after the season ends and see what's left as far as picks go, so I can stack up and get them at a really good price, because I just love the look that it adds to my tree. And the last thing that I want to leave you guys with is not necessarily a tip or a trick, but more so a reminder that the most beautiful trees are the ones that are personal to you, the ones that have that kind of sentimental value attached to them. So try to stay away from striving for absolute perfection and a perfectly balanced theme. Don't try too hard to make your tree look like it came straight from a department store, because nobody has an attachment to those department store trees. The ornaments are plastic and glass that mean nothing to anybody whatsoever. So no tree is complete without the ornaments that actually mean something and something that's handmade. So try to find a spot on your tree for those. Try to put your handmade things and your gifted ornaments and the ones that you've collected as souvenirs on your tree, because that's what makes them so special and nostalgic for you and your family. So that's it. Thank you for spending a little bit of time with me on this video. I really do appreciate it, and I hope you guys enjoyed getting a closer look at my tree and hearing what I've done differently this year to achieve the look that you see behind me. If you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe for more videos like these. Tons of more Christmas videos to come, and I will see you guys back in a future video. Bye guys.